Part of the honoring is as I mentioned, not disparaging others. So part of this comes down to the question of value, of seeing our own value and seeing the value in others. Value is one of the most important understandings we will have on the spiritual path. Most people are not in touch with their value. They come from a place of deficit, a place of being less than. I'm not quite enough. I'm a little bit broken. I'm a lot broken. It's that core wounding that we carry. And as long as we're carrying that, we're not feeling our own value. You know, I'm okay, but I've got this piece in me. I'm not that good. I'm bad. I'm hopeless, helpless, whatever the story is. So when we can recognize value, it's helpful if we can see our own value in communication, but it's often easier to see the value in others. So if you can see the value in the other person, if you can see that their opinion has some value to you, then that's going to both invite them to have more clear communication, to honor each other, and also to have clarity about speech. But also it's going to put you more in touch with your value when you're honoring and recognizing their value. It's a really interesting development that we can do it. We can meet our own value a little easier when we extend value to someone else, or we see the value of the other. So it's seeing that goodness, that inherent, innate goodness in the other. And it's also seeing their value, seeing their goodness, and not going to any kind of measurement, not looking at, am I above you, am I below you? Do you have more, do you have less? And there are people that are really caught up in that. They're always comparing themselves to others. Who's better at this? Who's better at that? Am I better than them? And really finding and feeling their moment by moment value based upon that, based upon measuring and comparing in what they do. So part of this speech, part of honoring, is not comparing. I'm not looking to see if you're more valuable or better than me. I'm trying to meet you. I'm trying to see your value so I can see my value. I'm trying to bring all these different qualities of honor and clarity and truth. I'm trying to really do good for others, which includes me. So trying to get into that. One of the phenomenon of humans that you may have heard of, there's a psychological term called negative merging. And in a real basic explanation, this is where people bond over negativity. I know several couples, this is the couple's desired language. If they can point out all the things wrong around them, they feel they can avoid those. But consequently, most of their dialogue together is negative about each other, about their situation, and about others. So it's always seeing the pessimism of life. It's bringing pessimism to see the glass is half empty. And it's complaining about that, and it's focusing on that. And really what I see when I'm around them is how much they suffer, because they look at everything from its broken side, from its damaged side, from its not quite perfect side. And consequently, when I'm around them, I don't see them see value. I don't see them feel the optimism, feel the connectivity, the undividedness. It's really oriented a different way. So one of the practices when working with these precepts is also to look at your behavior. Do you have a habit of negative merging with people? Are there people that you get together and you basically complain together? One of the ways that you see this in society is people's allegiance to their universities, their towns, their sports teams. I've got some family members that are huge sports advocates. They've got very strong opinions about certain teams. And when their team wins, they're just exuberant and elated, as if, to me, it's as if they played the game and won the game for their team. And when the team loses, they're just devastated. They'll have a horrible day. And in fact, they're not playing at all. They're not involved in it. But yet they're so invested, they're so merged into that team that they let themselves be affected by it. So just watch in the coming month. Watch your behavior. Watch how you relate to others in terms of speech. And if there are places where you see that you are engaging in negative merging, what can you do? What do you want to change? How would you like to communicate with the other? And this can be a conversation you have with another. Is I notice when we're together, we find a lot of fault. We share in doing that. And I'm just wondering, is this really the way we want to communicate when we're together? And invite that conversation. Some people do it, they're reversive types. They're trying to protect themselves, to keep bad stuff away. But how come they're not also looking at what's good and what's working? That's the real question to be asking. Because when we come from that negative merging, we're coming from deficit. We're looking at what's conditioned and what's going to fail. And if we orient more to the fuller picture, what's unconditioned, what's of the absolute, what's undivided, then we're promoting that more, we're seeing it more, we're experiencing it more. So we're really changing our experience and the experience of others by working with these different precepts in this way.